What's going on, everybody? This is Beyond the Fairway presented by Genesis, and I'm with my co-homie, Doug Smith.
What up?
And we have a special guest, four-time PGA Tour winner. He was once ranked 19th in the world back in 2000, Notah Begay III. But first, that was way better than mine. I like that.
That was my turn to get it.
You was silent but loud. I like that. Mine just loud. But hey, Dougie,
what's up, man?
We both just played in the U.S. Open, and you just played in your U.S. Open qualifier. Definitely get that correct.
Let's get that one.
Get that correct. But how'd it go out there today, man? I mean, I just want to know. I'm sure the world want to know.
Let me just tell you something. I'm so tired, man. I'm so blessed to do what we do, but we got done with the PGA World Collegiate Championship. Greg Odom was champion up there, and then I flew back to Phoenix. Was here for 2 nights. Went back to record the Wells Fargo last week where Max Homa got the W. I got home late last night. No clubs. I left Miami, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh.
I know you asked me about how I play. I'm gonna get there. I promise. This is a short story long.
Yeah.
So
sound like an excuse to me. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No.
Okay.
I turned my card in. So once my bag didn't make it. Long story short, Will.
Hey, your jokes though be going way too far, dog. It be TOOOOOOO far. It be too far.
I know you shot 70 something, but you didn't turn the card in. So hey, I got a little leg up over here.
I gotta write a letter to USGA next week.
But no, I got home last night at 1:00 in the morning. I didn't have any clubs. Sorry, I got home at 1:00 in the morning. I didn't have any clubs. I had to put I'm putting clubs together last night trying to find. I need a gap wedge. Okay, where I got my extra gap wedge? Okay, I used the set that I usually let you use when you come out here. I had.
So did your clubs haven't came yet?
No, I still don't have them as of. It's 6 p.m. right now on a Monday, and I still don't have my golf clubs. So hopefully this is out. I have them when this comes out. But I shot 2 over today. I was 2 under through 12. Tried to push and make some birdies, and then the 3 putts came, and I did not qualify.
I was 3 over making a turn, and I was getting phone call. So I'm not trying to drop some more stuff, but
Here it comes.
I'm part of I'm part of the Steph Curry underrated golf tour or whatever. And so I was getting phone calls going crazy. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm messing some kid's life up if I don't answer this phone call for these kids. so let me put my love of golf aside. And I just I left. My shoulder was hurting, so I had to leave.
Okay.
I did a WD. So for everybody who's listening, do not do a WD. All you young kids, do not do it. You stick it out because you get viewed and you get looked at as a quitter. But I don't care what y'all look about, how you think about me. I don't care. But it was for the kids. That's why I had to let it go. But speaking of kids, a guy who has a beautiful junior golf tour that is known nationally, and we have a great conversation. We're going to talk about that and a little bit more with Notah Begay III.
Beyond the Fairway welcomes in my homie, my man, my guy, Notah Begay. What's going on, man?
I'm doing great. Trying to catch my breath after that 7-week run. Started at Honda, ended at Augusta. Not a bad place to end things up. Then squeezed in a round of golf with all you guys over on the APGA. That was awesome. Had a great time doing that. But, making breakfast for the kids, hanging out in carpool lines. I'm doing all right.
You're living good. No.
Yeah, that APGA experience, it was okay. I don't like the fact that I finished 3rd in the NBC Tournament of Champions between us 3. I don't know if I'm happy about that.
Well, you're going to have to up your game. You got to up your game.
Easy, Notah. All right, now. My game is there. Easy, Notah. Easy. A couple of LOLs, I'm going to let everybody get away with it. That's about it. But, so, Notah, I got to ask a question. I mean, you're getting back into the game of golf. You're playing competitively. What's coming up? Like, why now? Like, why now?
Well, I just thought that with my 4 wins make me completely exempt for the PGA Tour champions. And I didn't want to go 1 calendar year from my birthday to 2023 and have looked back and not have tried, not have sort of given it a good effort. And, if I go in and I play and it's great, it's fun, I enjoy and I'm competitive, that'd be awesome. If I go and I just don't have it for some reason, at least I know that it was an honest effort, and I can move on with my television career and all the other things I do in philanthropy for my Native American community, and not have any regrets. I just basically didn't want to look back and feel like, well, I should have done that. That's not going to be the case. I'm 100% in, and I'm ready to go.
Well, so with you traveling, obviously, commentating for the PGA Tour as a walker, what have you, are you getting the bug? Like, is the bug coming back to compete?
Absolutely, but I learned quite a bit. I mean, as Doug will tell you, if you're not out there and you're not learning, you're not paying attention. I mean, you're getting a chance to watch the best players in the world, the most powerful players in the world, go from hitting at 320 to having to hit a 60 yards pitch shot and hitting them both world class. And so watching them manage situations, watching them mismanage situations based on whole location strategy, emotion, you really start to at least learn quite a few things. The decision-making part isn't going to be the hard part for me. It's just, the execution of golf shots and the nerve. Are my nerves going to hold up?
I just feel like, Notah, there's also some people that you feel like you still want to beat up on that's out there. Like, let's just be real. Like, I know you a little bit better than that. Like, you making it sound all happy-go-lucky. I know there's a couple names out there that you're like, you know what, I still got your number. Now, who are those people, Notah?
Well, I mean, I was really looking forward to competing against Phil. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I grew up against him. We're both from the West Coast. He went to ASU. I went to Stanford. We went head-to-head quite a few times. I mean, he won most of those. But I just thought that, prior to all of the controversy with the Saudi League and whatnot, he was really elevating the Champions Tour and putting it on people's radar. It was making it exciting. People were showing up to watch the guys play. And I was really looking forward to, obviously going against him and Bernhard, somebody's got to knock him off the pedestal. I mean, it might as well be me.
You're talking about Benjamin Button longer, right?
But think about it. You have to go to another tour for Phil, but Bernhard, he's going to be for another 25 years. So you got time to play against him.
Yeah, I think he's an alien.
Yeah, he's not from here. But Notah, you gave us like almost too many places to go, with this episode, this conversation, because you're talking Phil, you're talking Saudi League. I mean, let's talk Phil real quick. All right, you grew up with Phil, like you just mentioned. How damaged is his legacy and/or reputation out there?
Well, I think there's two ways to look at it. I think legacy is going to have some issues. It's tough at this late stage in his career to sort of recapture or get people to look in a different direction. I mean, let's say he did this prior to his PGA Championship win, then I think people would have been forced to refocus on, a big win late in his career. But with that in the rearview mirror and, all the controversy sort of surrounding what's going on now, I think it's going to be hard to redirect his legacy. When people ask you about Phil 10 years from now, he's going to be, that's the guy that said this, or that's the guy that did that. I don't know that they're going to come up with the 40 plus wins and the 5 majors, unfortunately, because,
But what did he really do, though?
What did he do?
I'm not for or against what he said. I'm not for or against it. You shouldn't be talking smack to reporters. I get that. You should be sharing information. You don't want to go out when you talk to people in the media. I get that. But what is so damning from your seat, Notah, that Phil did, why he's under such scrutiny? This where he currently is.
He's trying to get more money.
Yeah, I mean, saying the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Okay.
I don't know that his sentiments about the Middle East are any different than anybody else's. There are a lot of people that probably agree with him, but I don't know that the way that the story was spun, the way that it was received, and in the context of the PGA Tour and what was transpiring with Greg Norman and everything, just left everybody to look kind of, the music stopped and Phil didn't have a chair, and That's really what it comes down to.
I love that. I love that analogy, man.
Perfect, man. That's perfect. He handled his chair was gold.
Hey, like, he's entitled to feel how he feels politically about anything, but
absolutely,
it just kind of happened in the wrong context, and I think everybody was willing to pounce on it, and they did.
So, when you think about like some of the other names that have decided to request for their release from the PGA Tour to participate in the upcoming LIV event, we have Sergio Garcia, we have Lee Westwood, and we have Martin Keimer of the ones that are notable to request. Now, will their legacies be damaged, you think, or will people still look at them as pure PGA Tour players, or it's just fall upon deaf ears?
No, I don't think Westwood, Garcia, Keimer's legacies, reputations are going to be tarnished. I mean, the Europeans have been playing in multiple tours around the world for decades. Those guys had to travel because the money wasn't as lucrative in Europe early on. So they were coming to play in the U.S. They were going to events in South Africa, Australia, and Central Asia, just trying to get appearance fees and make a better living. And so I certainly don't think that they're going to jeopardize their legacies. I think what's actually going to happen here, and I think this is the tough thing that this tour has to sort of be concerned about, is similar to what the MLS experienced when they went after players like Kaká, the famous Brazilian, the famous Englishman, Wayne Rooney, and David Beckham. And, those players were well beyond their prime, and they were coming here sort of because they could walk.
It was their champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could walk down the street and nobody cared who they were, because nobody followed soccer here.
Right.
And so, the three players you mentioned are well beyond their prime. Don't know that they'll ever, win another PGA Tour event between the three of them. So you don't want this to be perceived as the place where great players go out to pasture. And I think that that's the tough thing. And you look on the front end of players that have committed, like a Robert Garrigus, or, some of the other players that, no, it's like
bye. Jay Monahan's like, oh, okay, all right. Release.
I don't. The players in their prime, as soon as Tiger pledged his allegiance and Rory and John Rahm, it was over. I mean, it was a windfall of other marquee players that you could actually build a tour around that are no longer going to go.
Well, here's a question, though, Notah, because it seemed like once we got to Riviera this year, all the players had come out and made their, I pledge allegiance to the PGA Tour. Like, what happened at Riviera from your seat that made everybody want to align or announce their alignment with the PGA Tour?
Well, Tiger said basically, this is the tour that I built my records on. This is the tour that has established my legacy in golf, and this is the tour that I'm going to commit to. And that was it. It was over.
So speaking just like that, it's it. But I heard there was a similar conversation back in the early '90s at Shoal Creek when there was another like Saudi league or something starting in that time, and Arnold Palmer was in the room with all the greats, Payne Stewart, Laney Watkins at that time, and Arnold said, "Hey, we're committed to PGA Tour." Everybody walked out the room. It was all PGA Tour at that time. So, but I want to transition. You just mentioned Tiger Woods. How annoying is it that you get so many Tiger Woods questions because you're known to be Tiger's friend, one of Tiger's best friends? And the reason we're kind of in the same boat, Notah, because obviously I'm pretty good friends with Steph Curry, and if you knew how many questions, how many DM questions, how many girls' phone numbers I get because they're trying to get me to pass it to Steph, whatever. If you only knew. I just want to ask you from a popular friend to another popular friend. How annoying is it, bro?
It was annoying, maybe 15 years ago. I'm like, if I keep getting annoyed, I'm going to be annoyed the rest of my life. and so I just started looking at it as, what an opportunity to just, highlight a great friend, talk about all the great things he's done in the game. And just, I don't know, be a good friend. Essentially, I don't mind talking about Tiger. He's a once in a lifetime athlete, and you really got a sense of what he brought to the game when his career was in jeopardy, because then you started to look back and watch the replays of the Masters or the US Open or the WGC event, and you're just like, wow, like, this guy, had 5+ win seasons 7 or more times in his career, and nobody's doing that now. Like nobody. As good as John Rahm is, or Justin Thomas, or Rory McIlroy, or any of the players in the top 10 in the world, they're not winning 5+ times in consecutive years, and he just made it look so matter of fact. And on top of that, it was in 15 or less starts per year. His win percentage at his peak was right around 36% on regular tour events and right at 30% for majors. It's just it was absurd. It was absurd.
I'm more impressed, Will, by how tight-lipped Notah is about some of the that he knows. Exactly. In the media, like your best friend is the most famous golfer ever,
right? And
you work in media. And for 17 years, 17 years, Notah, you ain't said shit. That's what impresses me.
Right, exactly. I agree with that.
I mean, that's a good friend. I mean, I kept my job and stay out of trouble. He still answers my calls. I'm good. I'm straight.
But Notah, here's an interesting piece. Tiger, Phil, both in the official field for the PGA Championship next week. Which one are you more surprised about?
Neither. I'm not surprised about either. I thought Tiger was always going to play. Southern Hills is certainly not as tough a walk as Augusta, and now he has a feel for what it's going to require to play 72 holes of golf. I mean, you look at who missed the cut at Augusta. Jordan Spieth missed the cut. Xander Schauffele missed the cut. Like, these guys are playing every week. They're in great health. They've got no major injuries, and he beat them. I mean,
he did beat them. But I want to interject just right there. Where do you rank that in the top 10? Well, what do you rank that in Tiger moments, according to you? That the fact that this guy hadn't played in 508 days and he comes out playing a major and makes the cut. Like, where do you rank that in your Tiger moments?
I think it's right at 11. I would imagine.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt too, Notah.
I thought it was top 10 for me.
I just think that Tiger himself wouldn't say that playing and finishing 72 holes is a win, although it is, considering, right?
Right.
But he just holds himself to such a high standard, and I think that what's scary now is that if you look at his rounds, there were shots that were just simply rust. It was just rust. That's it. Like, if he had a few more reps or maybe had a chance to play a tournament, but he doesn't have that luxury. So now he's got to take what he felt in those rounds at Augusta and then impart that knowledge and that experience into his tournament rounds at Southern Hills, where he's also won before. So I don't and I think that the way he has to play now, he's a positional, strategical, tactical golfer.
Strategical. Yeah. I like that.
He's not going to be power. I'm going to reach every par 5 playing a par 68 again.
But I think got 170 ball speed though. That's not like he's dinking it out there.
I mean, but that's just slightly above average out there. I mean,
right.
Those guys. I mean, they're not putting it out there with you, Dougie. At your
that's very kind of you to say. My speed.
But
I don't like how you just not have me in there.
Well, you don't have speed. Your hands.
But he don't know that though. He don't know that.
Yeah, I had a sense that you weren't in the 180s.
He started.
Hey yo, this little connection you guys got, I don't have to deal with it.
All right, Notah, real quick. Let's talk state of junior golf and how you are affecting his future.
Well, junior golf, I think, has really grown in stature and reach the last few years. I think the major obstacle in in getting a more diverse group of golfers to the golf course is just creating more access points. And it comes in a variety of fashions. I think the game historically has said no too often. No, in terms of it's very expensive. No, in terms of it's private club and you members only. I mean, there's all of these things that, and there's still a lot of barriers that face kids that don't come from a lot of resources. And, for instance, I was named the captain of the U.S. Junior President's Cup team this coming fall in Charlotte. And thank you. I was very honored. I'm looking forward. I've been working really close with the PGA Tour and the AJG. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And, one of the first things that I requested was I would like to have one pick. And both the AJGA and the PGA Tour were great. They were supportive of it because I wanted to go out and, maybe find a kid that, hadn't had a chance to play a lot of AJGA events because the way the team was going to be chosen was straight off of the AJGA points list. But like myself, stars. Very limited access. Sometimes there's limited access. And again, it becomes a point of, opportunity versus, I think, level playing field. And so, there's some hurdles that we have to overcome and just making the game a little bit more available. And I think if we do that, and I don't really care who wins, whether they're black, white, American, it doesn't matter. But that everybody has the same access to technology. They have the same access to practice facilities and similar access to tournament schedules. Let's see who wants to work the hardest and go out there and get it.
Yeah, no, but I feel like with the star system and the AJGAs, and you have to play this event to play in that event, and if you don't start golf at a decent level by the age you're 12, you're not going to be able to play in the bigger events that you need to play in when you're 18. Like, how do we break this cycle of you have to be good so young to play junior golf at the highest level?
Well, there has to be a more broad-based and accessible method of skill evaluation. Right now, the best thing we have is USGA handicap. And those aren't even all that accurate simply because the indexes don't correlate. You could, I have so many people say, well, I'm a 5 at my course and I just shot 85. I don't understand. I've been working with a group called the Junior Golf Hub based out of Connecticut for the last 2 years. And, we worked with the teams at University of Texas, at Stanford, and University of New Mexico. And we tested both the men's and women's programs through a system called Player Development Index. And so what we did is it's basically a standardized skills assessment where every single player goes through the exact same testing around short game, ball flight control, and putting, and it produces an overall score. Now, the best score that we saw from all of the players that we tested was around an 81. And so what that backtracks us to is that if a kid from, say, Southern California, New Mexico, Washington, D.C., doesn't have the resource to go out and travel and play tournament golf, but they can go get a player development index test. And they're like, you know what? I'm 12 years old and I just scored a 45. Well, the average score at University of Texas and Stanford men's programs was in the 70s. It was in the high 60s at University of New Mexico. So it now gives them a target saying, if I want to play golf at an elite level Division I program, I have to be able to score a 70 plus on my player development index. And this test is going to be available across the country over the next couple of years. We've got about 5,000 to 10,000 kids that are already in the system, but wow. It's just an effort to make it a little bit more accessible. And so that when we compare a kid from Florida to a kid from Idaho, we're comparing them through the same system. We're not comparing a kid that plays a wide open course that, where 67's a bad score to a kid that, is playing TPC Sawgrass and, where 75 is a good score. And I think that's kind of where it needs to go in order for there to be a little bit more equality with regard to, who is actually good at the game.
But you know what, Notah, there's something I want to kind of dive a little deeper into when it comes to junior golf space, is that I'm starting to notice, when it comes to parents and kids, they're really specific on, I guess, strength of field versus going out shooting a number. I heard a lot of kids. I started working with Steph in the underrated golf tour that he just recently announced a couple weeks ago, and I'm starting to notice when I talk to parents, a lot of parents saying, "Hey, who's all over there? I want to make sure the strength of field is high enough before we can commit." Right. And Doug and I, shoot, you as well. We're from the old school. We're like, go shoot a number. If you shoot a number, coaches will come. Coaches will follow. You shoot a number on this particular course. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's ruining junior golf, to be perfectly fair.
See, that's what
I think that kids should show up to win and to beat whoever's put in front of you. So that's how I was raised. That's how Tiger was raised. That's how a lot of their – but, you can't blame them. They're only reacting to how the system is structured. The system is structured in such a way that, for instance, we have a set of regional qualifiers for my national championship. We have 25 of them across the country. It's tough for me to attract the top players, let's just say, in the state of Georgia, because they know, because we don't turn anybody down. So if a kid signs up for our local qualifier and they play the round of their life and they're unranked, no turn, but they just go out there and they, maybe it's on their home course and they just career round it and they get to a regional, they're not bringing any points with them. They're not bringing any rankings. So they actually pull the field down in terms of how the strength of field, quote unquote, is evaluated. And so then, mom and dad or whoever, are sitting with the calculator are like, well, son, we'd love for you to play in the NBC National Championship, but you can't go to the regional because even if you win, your ranking's going to fall.
Right.
And that in and of itself in cherry picking events isn't necessarily, I think, the fault of the parents or the kids, but the way the system is structured.
It's the industry's fault. It's the industry's fault. All right, so Notah, before we get you up out of here, we got a major coming up. We got a couple more events before we start talking about PGA Championship. It's Byron Nelson week. What are you going to be looking for as relates to players this week trending into the PGA Championship in Tulsa? And I want to know your picks as of today for the PGA Championship.
Well, I've got my eyes on Dustin Johnson. Coming off the 5-0 performance at the Ryder Cup. I mean, dude checked out. He's like, I'm out of here. Like, he dropped the mic. He was banged up at the post-tournament press conference. And he's just like, I'm going on vacation. I'm going on sabbatical. I'm going to go learn a new language and just hang out with Paulina for a few months. And he just sort of went on vacation, and his game did too.
And he got married.
Yeah, he came back, but his game didn't. So, but I thought he was going to play better because, in covering those rounds leading up, the 6 events leading up to the Masters, out there every single week. And Doug, I saw you a number of times. You get to see the progression, and Dustin was trending, and he just hasn't quite pieced it all together. If one week he's hitting it and driving it great, he can't make a putt. He's making putts, he can't hit his irons close. But he's sort of teetering right there. And I just think that the TPC Craig Ranch is a big, wide venue. It's not the toughest golf course in Dallas, but I think it's going to give him a chance to sort of continue that growth that I saw sort of through that stretch early in the year leading up to the Masters. Now, I think Southern Hills is a different kind of animal. I think it's going to require everything. I think whereas you can get away with an errant tee shot here or there at Augusta National because the rough is high, and if you know the golf course, you can kind of play yourself out of trouble here and there. Not going to be the case at Southern Hills. It's going to require quality driving through the bag, and if the weather cooperates, the greens will be icy fast. And I think when you're looking at that, you got to look at the most well-rounded player, and that's Jon Rahm.
Oh, wow. Dustin Johnson and Jon Rahm.
Rahm.
Okay. All right, Notah.
I was going to pick Dustin Johnson for the Southern. I said I had my eye on him, but
I had an eye on him. Picking John Rahm. Okay, fair.
That was a misdirection. Okay.
Yeah, you flipped on me on that one. You built Dustin up and was like, yeah, Dustin, Rahm.
Right.
What?
Right.
What? The hell?
That's funny. Hey, go ahead, Doug.
I'm about to wrap. What do you think?
I just had a silly question. I just want to know, did you submit your release form in April that you can play in the Champions Tour next year? That's the most important.
I'm ready, man. I've submitted a lot of forms.
So did Miss April give you the green light? Like, yeah, baby, you can go play?
Yeah, she's good with it. So, she knows that if things go well, life is good when you play well on the PGA.
Right.
Life is good.
Life is good.
I can dig it. But Notah, we send everybody out of here the same way. We call it Rap Foursome right here, Beyond the Fairway podcast. You're going to go play golf with 4 rappers. You're playing a 5-ball. Doesn't have to be dead. Don't have to be alive. I don't care. It doesn't matter what era, genre. They got to be rappers, though. Who are you pulling up to the course with, Mr. Notah Begay?
Chuck D.
That's number 2.
Ice-T?
Ice-T.
Nice.
With the curls.
Q-Tip.
Wow.
And who's my 4? I mean, I got to bring Flavor with, I got to bring Flavor Flav because
you're bringing Flavor Flav to a golf course.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. Does he even count as a rapper? He was a hype man, Notah. Like, hold on now.
He got in there 911. I mean, he snuck in there from time to time, but Chuck D's gonna just bring it. Like, he doesn't care where it goes. He's just gonna bring it. And then Ice-T is just cool, calm, collected. Right? Q-Tip's gonna come with the smooth game, with the finesse,
with that consciousness,
and just with the flow. And I wish I could bring someone else from the tribe, but I'm only allowed 4 still.
You're in round 4.
Quest. Okay, hey, but it's so funny is that Ice-T. I mean, pre-Law and Order Ice-T.
I don't think people know if there was
exactly. I'm a little scared of that Ice-T because that Ice-T was. I like post-Law and Order Ice-T. The pre-Law and Order, you might be by yourself on that one, man. I don't know if I want that one. I don't want them troubles.
Well, Notah, thank you so much for coming in, going beyond the fairway with Will Lowery and myself. You always got a home here. We look forward to seeing you week in and week out, walking the trails, PGA Tour. Beyond the Fairway is presented by Genesis Motor America and the first ever GV70. Dynamic design and exhilarating performance make the game your own. And you talk about making the game your own. Who we just talked to, this man reinvented the scoring system to level the playing field. Notah Begay, man. That dude blows my mind. And you can tell Notah anything because he ain't telling no secrets.
Nah. I just love the fact that his process to help kids get involved when they can't fully be involved. I think that's pretty amazing. Because, question, I wonder where I would stack up against that test.
You want the little junior golf combine?
Yeah,
I think you should sign up.
No, sir. I'm not gonna hurt my little status on that. I got a reputation to hold. You know what I'm saying?
Or yes, you do. Yes, no, you do have a reputation to uphold. I've got nothing to say to that. Hey, but you know what, Notah, I didn't see Flavor Flav coming though in the rap foursome. That one, I don't know if I qualify Flavor Flav as a rapper, but it is what it is. Man.
Imagine Notah, a young Native American, walking the mean streets. Where is he from? Albuquerque. I don't know.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Listen to Ice-T. That is hilarious.
That is hilarious. But hey, be sure to join Will and I next week for another episode of Beyond the Fairway right here, Golf Channel, NBC. Nowhere else you'd rather be. Right here with me and Mr. Hanson.
Oh, you pointing in the right direction. Watch this. Back at you.
Hey, how about that?
That's so weird pointing that way when the computer's that way. It got me all. It's mind-boggling.
Hey, we'll catch y'all next week. As always, we appreciate y'all to listening to Beyond the Fairway, presented by Genesis.